Well, good morning and thank you for joining us today. It is 6:30 on Saturday, February 18th. I'm Rachel Gartner, and it was a frigid start this morning. Hoping for a little bit of a warm up this weekend, but it's debatable as far as when it's going to show up today, right?
Yeah, Mother Nature kind of just takes its time.
Well, she can do that.
She has a plan. Well, this morning, I hope you're planning on bringing that jacket out because I know I forgot mine. And it was pretty frigid run to the car. And so if you haven't done that already, you're probably going to plan for that, as we are going to start not only noticing our temperature slowly rising, you can see the sunrise also starting to rise as well. So we're going to notice those winds at times picking up, gusting at times over 20 miles per hour. So it's going to make temperatures like these feel pretty cold. Now we're talking about temperatures right now being into those lower 20s, down in Kennett seeing 32. Not terrible, it's to be expected, but as we go through the afternoon, temperatures will be rising into those lower 50s, but on top of that, you're gonna have winds, so it's gonna feel a little cooler than that. Eventually, we'll see a warm up and we will be tracking our next chances of rain. It's just a matter of where and when. So when I come back, I'll obviously, of course, be providing that very answer.
Okay, well, thanks, Emily. Well, we start this morning with a developing story out of Brooksville, Florida. It happened yesterday evening, and 2 people have been taken to a local hospital with gunshot wounds following yet another active shooting incident that ended in an hours-long standoff. The Hernando County Sheriff's Department says now the situation is totally resolved and the suspect is in custody. HCSO deputies say that 64-year-old Steve Rusa ignited a barn fire and then shot at the individuals who approached to ask about the flames. The active shooter situation then devolved into an hours-long standoff after Rusa barricaded himself into a nearby home. The SCSO Sheriff's Department says that they are trying to figure out why Rusa even started the fire.
I haven't talked with any of the witnesses, but it almost appears as though he either did not want them to extinguish the fire or it was set deliberately to lure people in to shoot them. Of course, we may never know exactly what was going through his mind at the time.
HCSO confirmed that 2 people suffered gunshot wounds and have been transported to a local trauma center. The first victim was reported to have non-life-threatening injuries, but that second person's condition is still unknown. Well, the family of Jade Beasley held a tree planting ceremony in her honor yesterday evening. That tree is over on Songbird Road in Marion. Take a listen.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound.
Family, friends, and others were there to honor Jade. They hope to plant several trees in her honor. This one in particular, it will bloom pink and purple flowers in Jade's memory.
We are doing all of this because Jade would have accomplished so much and she would have changed the world somehow. And we're unable to see her do that, but we can go ahead and keep it going through what she loved and things, and just keep giving unconditional love and put good back in.
Well, just 3 days ago, Julia Beverly was found guilty of killing Jade back in 2020. Jade's family did release a statement to thank everyone who prayed over the case and over the family during the last couple of years. They say, quote, "We chose to believe in the system and lean on those who supported us. Every aspect of our lives has been centered around the loss of this beautiful child and trying to bring closure to this horrific situation. It is the evidence and the truth that has set us free to pick up the pieces and start the healing process." Well, the city of Grand Tower will receive more than $1 million in funding, and that will go to a new wastewater infrastructure. The program will install sanitary sewers, manholes, service connections, and a pump station along Grand Tower Road and Route 3. This project will also include getting rid of existing septic tanks at that location. The money is part of a $21 million funding announced on Friday by the Pritzker administration. Well, a group of county leaders are working on a plan to make travel easier through Southwest Illinois. They're from the 4-County Highway Coalition, and they want a 4-lane extension that goes from Murfreesboro all the way to St. Louis. News 3's Paul Wilcoxon has an update on that project.
A project decades in the making may finally see the light of day.
So the Southwest Connector is an idea that's been around for a long time.
Officials from 4 Southwest Illinois counties are working to make travel safer. The current project would extend Illinois 127, Illinois 154, and Illinois 3 from 2 to 4 lanes from Murfreesboro to Waterloo.
It would create a rural 4-lane expressway. It would have a 65-mile-an-hour speed limit. And if people can just imagine New 13 between Carbondale and Murfreesboro, that's what it would be between Murfreesboro and St. Louis.
In addition to being mayor of Murfreesboro, Will Stevens is the new chairman of the 4-County Highway Coalition.
There are numerous fatal wrecks that have occurred along this stretch in the last 10 years. And not just fatal wrecks, but wrecks that have caused people to have life-altering injuries. We also think it's important for economic development reasons. If Southwestern Illinois is going to compete for not just jobs, but for careers, we're going to have to improve our infrastructure.
Stevens goes on to say, thanks to Biden's infrastructure bill, this idea becoming a reality is closer than ever before.
All these years before, there wasn't really funding for the project, but the Biden infrastructure bill specifically says that they want to build infrastructure in areas where coal used to be what propped up the economy. And so there's money, and we're wanting to compete for it.
The connection is a $1 billion project with hopes of receiving 80% of that from federal funds and 20% from the state.
We just need the state of Illinois to commit $20 million a year for 10 years to make this happen. That may sound like a lot of money, and it is a lot of money. But, you know, of all the government spending that exists, it has been proven over and over again that infrastructure spending has a return on investment.
Reporting in Southern Illinois, Paul Wilcoxon, News 3.
Well, you can learn more about this project on their website, and that is siconnector.com. Well, a new study shows just how strong natural immunity is against COVID-19 for people who have already had the infection. Researchers from the Institute of Health Metrics and Evaluation looked at 65 studies from across 19 countries. The authors determined that people are protected against symptomatic illness for at least 10 months after their infection. Protection against severe disease and death is still nearly 90% at the 10-month mark. Researchers say that's as good as 2 vaccines. Well, as for COVID levels in our area, things are looking pretty good. The Illinois Department of Public Health is reporting that there are currently no counties at the high risk level. There are only a handful of counties at the medium level. At the medium level in our area, those counties include Jefferson, Johnson, and Massac. All other counties in the downstate area are currently at the low risk at the moment. Well, researchers have found a major link between regular sleep and heart health. Scientists with the American Heart Association looked at variations in when people went to sleep, how restful that sleep was, and if it was interrupted. What they found were that these variations in these factors led to a high risk of plaque in arteries. People whose sleep habits varied from 90 minutes to more than 2 hours within a week were 1.4 times more likely to have elevated plaque levels. One limitation of the study is they only looked at older adults with an average age of around 69. Well, U.S. Senators Dick Durbin and Tammy Duckworth announced $70 million in federal funding for Illinois healthcare programs. That includes the Shawnee Health Service and Department Corporation. They'll get $5.1 million. The Illinois Department of Public Health is also receiving about $14 million. That'll be used for improving STD prevention and control measures, rape prevention measures, working to beat tuberculosis, and mother and child health services. Also, U.S. Senator Tammy Duckworth, she says she supports a plan that would cover seat elevations in power wheelchairs under Medicare. Right now, you have to pay out of pocket for that function. Senator Duckworth says this will, quote, give disabled people better access to the equipment that they need to live fuller, healthier, and more independent lives. Well, this was National Salute to Veteran Patients Week. It's a time to pay tribute and express appreciation for our veterans. Well, VA Healthcare Center in Cape Girardeau tells News 3's Joe Rahana that they capped off their celebrations with the most important ceremony, and that is the induction into their Wall of Valor.
To be on our Wall of Valor, one has to be in combat with the enemy and have earned a Medal of Valor.
3 Cape Girardeau area veterans were honored with a Wall of Valor induction ceremony at the VA Healthcare Center Friday morning. All 3 served during the Vietnam War. One was awarded posthumously.
Valorous acts are acts that are recognized going above and beyond what's expected. They are putting their own lives at risk trying to save others, and we want to make an extra effort to recognize our veterans who have committed these valorous acts.
Marine Corps veteran Kenneth Robinson was awarded.
And I appreciate the honor that's been shown.
He received a Navy Commendation Medal for combat service against the enemy in the Republic of Vietnam.
And I regret the ones that didn't make it home. Those were the heroes.
Yep, this is the reason that we fight for freedom in this country. Children like this.
Army veteran Robert Hirschbach was awarded a Bronze Star Medal for operations against a hostile force.
My entire family almost was here today. My grandchildren, great-grandchildren. So it was an honor, and that's what made it unique and neat to have my family here.
Army veteran Robert Leathers was awarded posthumously. He received a Bronze Star for his services in Vietnam. The Wall of Valor is unique to the John J. Pershing VA Medical Center and its affiliates. They began in 1997 and are open to induction applications each year. Reporting in Cape Girardeau, Joe Rahana, News 3.
Well, we're taking a look at a cold start to our morning, but a warm-up is on the way. But with good things comes some rain every now and then, and I'll have your full forecast and when you can be